Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Daniel Davidson. I'm the CEO of Business Star Makers, and I suggest you consider sacrifice as the first and foremost ingredient necessary for success. Sacrifice. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And you've done it many, many times. It's absolutely necessary for all of us, and we've done this many times, to sacrifice. Meaning, every time and any time that we want to achieve something, we have to give up something in order to get whatever it is we want. And we know that, right? There's no way, like they say, no pain, no gain, right? There's no way to achieve things that we want without being willing to give something up for it. Being willing to tolerate some pain, difficulty, challenges, and basically tolerate some hardship. In one of the videos, I drove a car. And the car I drove actually happens to be one of my favorite cars. But it wasn't a Maserati, like 2020, this is 2024, November. And this definitely wasn't a 2024 Maserati or Ferrari or one of those top, it's a sports car, it's a convertible. Definitely is not a 2024, top sport car. I love it. It's a little tiny sports car that I love. But, I could probably, buy the top notch sports car. But no, it's a sacrifice for me. Okay? And you probably could hear, all the, parts of it that squeaked, because it's an older model that I love anyways. It's not classic, but, it's nearly classic. Anyway, I love this style and I enjoy driving it. It's just fun. It's stick shift. I just love stick shift models and it's pretty fast and I just don't want to get rid of it because I probably would keep it forever. I have other cars, but anyway, I love that one. But it's a sacrifice for me, is my point. The point of it is, in life, in order to achieve things, in order to have things, in order to accomplish things, many times, each and every one of us has sacrificed a lot of things. As a professional, I'm sure, as a businessman, as whatever you've achieved, you've had to give up something to receive what you have in terms of your accomplishment. And now that we're talking about future success, now too, we have to talk about sacrifice, because without it, we're not going to accomplish whatever it is we want. And this sacrifice could be in terms of taking it 2 steps back to be one huge step forward. Okay, and I'll talk about that. It could be financial sacrifice. It could be moving, leaving some of the friends that may not necessarily be conducive to where you want to be in life, which is very common, in fact. You might have to actually completely change the scenery of your life. People that are around you may not necessarily be supportive of where you want to be in your life. And it's very common. You'll be surprised, okay? If you want to be a leader, if you want to be a success, if you want to be someone who, becomes a, exemplary professional or businessman or someone who changes things around this world, you can't be hanging around people who aren't eagles like you. Okay, you can't go in the chicken coop, sit around and like there's a saying: if you sit in a barber shop long enough, you're gonna get a haircut. Okay. Yeah. If you sit in a barber shop long enough, you're gonna get a haircut. If you sit in a bar long enough, you're gonna drink. Okay, sit around alcoholics, you're gonna be an alcoholic if you sit long enough, right? Whatever. So the point is, if you want to have, good future, you hang around good people. Well, whoever, tell me who your 5 good friends are, and I tell you what your future looks like. That kind of thing. So, we gotta choose our friends very cautiously, and it's best to have great ones. If you don't have one, it's best not to have any. Because, I prefer YouTube as my best friend. Why? Because then I can be selective. You can choose your videos that you want and learn from them and spend your time socializing on YouTube and learning your videos, and people that you know are brilliant would be your good friends until you find good people. If you're changing your scenery, and be very selective as to who you socialize with, who you associate with. Don't just let anyone in your circle. Find the right people in order for you to have that opportunity, because who you have in your circle will really impact your future. The kind of thing that goes in, oh, you can't do it, this is not for you, it does affect you. So be very careful who you choose to have around you, okay? As far as sacrifice, getting rid of those kind of negative people, naysayers, that's a sacrifice. And they could be very close friends, could be even family members, okay? So it could be time. Like I was saying, one of the things that we do is we say, oh, I don't have the time. Well, give up your movies, give up your sports, games and stuff you want to watch on TV every Saturday and Sunday and Friday and God knows how many days of the week, right? Give up some of the other distractions you have, then you do have the time. Sacrifice. Okay? You gotta sacrifice, okay? You gotta sacrifice. The point is, you have got to sacrifice. So the video is about sacrifice. You cannot not sacrifice and expect to be able to have what you want. So you have to ask yourself, how bad do I want to be successful? How bad do I want to have what I want? How bad do I want to be where I intend to be? What am I willing to give up for it? And then give it up. That's what it takes. Sacrifice. Just keep having that word going and around your head. That's what it takes. Sacrifice. And keep asking yourself, what am I willing to give up for this? And be prepared, because you keep on having to sacrifice. Without sacrifice, and that's a continuous, process. It's not like I'm going to sacrifice and then I'm done. No. That's like a permanent process. Okay? And that's what it takes. You got to become a different person. Okay? In order to succeed, you got to become a different person. You got to sacrifice certain things. Okay? In order to become who you want to be, you got to sacrifice certain habits. Like drinking every Friday night to stupor. So your whole Saturday till like afternoon is blown. Sacrifice, that's gotta go. That's a sacrifice. I know, but that's a sacrifice. There's something that has gotta go. Sorry. You see how it goes? Sacrifice. It's a price you gotta pay. Gotta be a different person. Literally. The old person, sacrifice, no longer exists. Gotta go. The new version of you is gonna be born. You gotta be willing to just sacrifice that old version of you. No longer exists. With all his old habits. And a new set of habits have to be born. Sacrifice. Keep saying that in your mind and be willing to. So the question is, are you willing to sacrifice for what you really deserve, want, and is down here? Your calling. Are you? You have to decide. Nobody can make that decision for you except you. Are you willing to sacrifice?